A lot of discs and the pads by Power Stop. And then we'll go underneath. I'll show you in the back. Maybe it's better over here. Also on the exhaust, put on a Magnaflow performance muffler. The muffler shop did a pretty good job at retrofitting it. They needed to make a few adjustments on that. And then rear, I also put in airbag supports in the springs. I don't know if you can see it here. There they are. So put in airbag support strings, and you can see here's the air tube. There is actually a hole at the very top of the spring mount. The air tube goes right into the airbag, and then I run the air tubes out to the license plate frame. So there's one on each spring, so there's one. Went ahead and replaced the two rear air shocks. It was actually easier than I thought. It's not too bad. One of my original air shocks had a hole in it, so obviously that was no good. I also replaced the air pump, which is right behind the driver's side rear tire. Once again, it was fairly straightforward to replace. A couple screws hold it in, have to undo the air clips and the wiring harness, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward. I also purchased that on Amazon. So with the new air shocks and the air spring supports, I definitely have a level ride when I'm towing a trailer. For an exhaust, I use Spectra, so it's a non-oiled filter. It was an aluminum tube, so I wrapped that with heat shield just to reduce the amount of heat that gets exposed to the air, to the engine. As you notice, there's no fan shrouds. I replaced the mechanical fan with electrical fans. And if I can turn and see, there's two electric fans, one here and one over there. This is a 16-inch, that one's a 14-inch fan. You could go with two 16s. If I did it again, I probably would, just because in the summer, towing a trailer, probably a little extra would help. And the 16-inch basically covers the whole radiator from top to bottom, and two 16s would actually fit perfect. Then up here in the front, I replaced the transmission cooler. It had just a small one, and I also attached a little mini fan to the new transmission cooler. So this is the transmission cooler I mounted behind this bracket. So the cooler goes up and down there. Here are the hoses I just connected to the original tubing that was coming into the original, and I put some rubber tubing that ran the hoses to the new cooler. I also attached a fan, and the fan, I basically just hardwired it to a switch that runs inside the cabin. So I turned this one on and off manually as I'm towing our trailer if the transmission temperature starts to increase. And I replaced the alternator with a 140 amp alternator, which also helps out with the electric fans. I also, it's not really performance mod, but I replaced the water pump, which is actually pretty straightforward. Flushed out the radiator fluid, of course, the transmission fluid when I replaced the transmission cooler. So yeah, with these mods, I definitely feel more power out of the Escalade, especially when I'm towing. Okay, thank you for watching, and please like it if you got some useful information out of this.